Hey, what's 7 times 4?
28.
What about 18 times 7?
126.
What about 127 times 101?
12,827.
Okay, how in the world did you do that?
The distributive property, of course. Just let me explain it to you in a few minutes.
Please don't.
I'll tell you all about it.
I'll pass.
And you'll be able to multiply big numbers all in your head.
I don't have a choice, do I?
No, sir, you do not.
So let me just explain a little bit about how the distributive property works. So let's say that we're looking at that problem 18 times 7. Now most people would think, I just want to write it up and down like this, 18 times 7. I could multiply the 8 by the 7, then I could multiply the 10 by the 7. Sure, you could do it like that. But another way to do that is to actually use something called the distributive property. The way that works is you look at both of these numbers as 18 times 7, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of those numbers and split it up into smaller numbers. I'm going to choose the number 18 because I think it's hard to multiply the number 18. So I'm going to choose the number 18 to split up. So I'm thinking in my head, what numbers add together to get 18, but are easier numbers to multiply. One number that I always go after is a 10. It's easy to multiply by 10. And then I think, what else is easy to multiply? Well, I know how to multiply by 8. So 10 and 8, 10 plus 8, is exactly the same as 18. So you have to make sure whatever you have here, whatever you split it up into, is the same as the number that you started with. So 10 plus 8 is the same as 18. So what you're going to do then is you're going to take each of these numbers and you're going to multiply them both by the other number, which in this case was 7. I'm going to rewrite that on another page. So we have that 10 plus 8, which is 18. And I'm going to put it in parentheses just to show that those two numbers are grouped together to make 18. And I'm multiplying them both by 7. Remember, if we put a 7 on the outside of a set of parentheses, it literally means to multiply. We can either put a little multiplication sign here, or we can just know because there's parentheses that means to multiply. So this literally here means, 7 times 18, which is exactly what we started with. So the way we would solve that is we would take the 7 and multiply by each of those pieces. So we would multiply 7 times 10 and 7 times 8, which would be, if we work that out, it would be 7 times 10 and 7 times 8. Because remember, we started off with 18. We broke it up into those parts. So we're just multiplying our other number by each of those parts. And what we're going to do with each of those parts is we're going to take them and add them together. So 7 times 10 is 70. 7 times 8 is 56. And 70 plus 56 is the same as 126. So that's how I was able to multiply those numbers so quickly in my head, is because all of that process kind of took place in my head in order to solve the distributive property. So if you ever want to solve a multiplication problem really quickly, it might be a good idea to use the distributive property. We could have even broken it up into more numbers if we wanted to break it 18 up into 10, 5, and 3. 10 plus 5 plus 3 is 18. We would multiply all of those numbers by 7 and then add them together. So that's one way in order to multiply numbers really quickly in your head. And I think it's pretty cool because it's fast and you can really impress people with it sometimes.